Hello everyone, welcome back to Easy Education London, and today we are looking at the predictions for GCSE English Language. Now we have done a predicted video for GCSE English Literature, so do check it out on our channel where we did get some of the questions in fact correct. So do check that out for more information. So what we are looking at today is the GCSE English Language upcoming exams, which is being sat in June. 5th of June and the 12th of June. So again, specifically, this video will be looking at paper 2. So that is being sat on the 12th of June. And I wanted to look at some potential section B questions for your question 5. So that's your persuasive writing, transactional writing for Edexcel, Educast and AQA. So you know that for section B, you are expected to know how to write an article, a speech and a letter. So you may have a potential question on one of these three. So let's have a look at the potential questions that you may face in the exam. And it's important you practice all of these because you could get something very similar or in fact identical to this. So the first one, if I just zoom in, is to write a letter to the government to give your views. Okay, so again, your views, your opinion on whether the voting age should be lowered to 16. So again, it's important that you're reading and up to date with what's happening in the news. And again, I'm not telling students to be spending hours upon hours reading the newspaper. Now we all use our smartphone. You can literally have the Sky News app or Apple News app and skim through the articles on a day-to-day basis. So write a letter. So you need to know how to have the correct form when writing a letter to give your views on whether the voting age should be lowered to 16. So of course, for this question, you need to plan. So think of a plan that will have perhaps potential agree and disagree points for this question. Now, the whole purpose of this answer is for it to be convincing, compelling communication. So when the examiner reads your answer, it should sound persuasive and also it should sound interesting. So that's something that you want to aim to do. So what you can do is plan this question and have a go at it in your own time. The second potential question or predicted question for our letter could be: write a letter to your local council to suggest ways to reduce litter and pollution in your local area. So essentially this question is about the environment and what can be done to help the environment. So you're giving your suggestions on what we can do to help. And remember, it has to be persuasive, otherwise you're not writing an effective answer. So take a screenshot of this and write down your ideas in bullet points, and then you can formulate an answer. By the way, these questions, so each question is 40 marks. So you should spend around 45 minutes per question. So you're going to realize that there are many questions, and the question is, yes, 45 minutes. So you are advised to plan, okay? And I hear a lot of my own students even say, why do I have to plan? I can write from the top of my head. But you do realize this question is worth 40 marks. So eventually, if you write from the top of your head, you are going to start waffling and you're going to be going around in circles. So I always encourage students to create a detailed plan. So plan for this question. So that's the second potential question. The third potential question is to write a letter for your head teacher giving your views on work experience for teenagers. So again, work experience and getting young people into employment. Again, it's a hot topic, especially now in 2023. And we have looked at how social media has taken over the world by storm and how it's created opportunities for young people. So apps like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube has allowed young people to have opportunities to work for social media agencies and even become content creators. So what is your opinion on work experience? This is what this question is asking. So that's the third one in terms of writing a letter. So again, it's quite broad. So I know there are different types of questions, but I would recommend, especially as you have the half term approaching, is to practice one of these questions per day. And that's it for writing a letter. If you are unsure on how to write a letter, I have done a video on how to structure a letter for your GCSE English language exams, regardless of your exam board. So do click below to find out more. Moving on, we have the next set of predicted questions, which is writing a lively article or writing an article to make it simple. Now, writing an article did come up last year for the previous year 11s, and the exam boards did give them advanced information. So they did find it quite easy because they already knew what type of text they'd be writing. But this year, we don't have any advanced material. So we have to sort of calculate or predict rather to see what will come up. So the first question is write a lively article for a school newspaper with the title Ways to Keep Fit and Healthy. Okay, so this is again a hot topic in school, in the news as well. So this question, often what happens is the exam board do try to recycle questions throughout the years. So it's all about living a healthy lifestyle. So to all of you here, of course, you study science, and you can apply some of your knowledge from science to write this question. So there's an acronym that you may have heard of. So if I just go back, there's an acronym you may have heard of by DeForest. Okay, so this is an acronym for persuasive writing that you can use to answer any question 5 or section B. So you can use this to write an effective answer. So that's the first one. The second one is to write a lively article for a school newsletter with the title Ways to Stay Safe Online. So that is essentially about e-safety, internet safety, again a hot topic for students in schools, etc., and also for the world as well, because online safety is of course something that's always in the headlines. So again, do research, spend your half term going over some articles, read them, understand them, look at the facts and figures that they use within the articles. Can you use them in your own article? Yes, absolutely. So do your research and have a go at answering this question. In terms of your paragraphs, you're looking to write approximately 4 to 6 paragraphs. But again, you can write less, you can write more. It's mainly about the quality. You should be focusing on the quality. So if you want to see how to write a grade 9 answer, I have done a full walkthrough on my YouTube channel. So just go on the playlist and you should be able to find it. So I believe it is titled question 5 walkthrough. So it is quite long, 55 minutes, but if you watch it, you'll understand how I structured the answer to score the top marks. And the final article question we have is write an article for a broadsheet newspaper explaining your views on homework. Okay, look at that question. How easy can that be? Okay, this question is extremely easy. I can get my year 7s to answer this with ease. So if you get this in your exam, you all should be celebrating. It's a straightforward question. I'm sure there's not much for me to say there. So you need to, of course, make it persuasive and make it convincing. Now, a lot of the time, students ask me, can I give the counter argument? Now, to answer that simply, yes, you can. But if you provide a counter argument, you must tell us why it's invalid or why it's wrong. Otherwise, the issue is if you always like switch sides, you're sitting on the fence, and as the examiner will be perplexed because they don't know which side you agree with. Okay, so if you give the counter, tell us why it's wrong and why it's invalid. Justify, okay, important, justify why it's wrong. So that's something for you to remember. So that is writing an article, 3 potential questions for that. I may have a potential 4th question, which I'm trying to figure out. But then again, that would probably be on social media. So I will be doing a part 2 of this, of my predictions, where I may be adding that onto the articles as well. And finally, it's looking at writing a speech. So if I just zoom in, sorry. So writing a speech, again, a potential exam question, something that you all need to prepare for and revise. Now, writing a speech, we have done it on our YouTube channel, so do check it out on the playlist. So write a speech for a council giving your views on whether men and women should have equal pay. Okay, so that is an interesting question because, like I said, it's something that is again spoken about on the news quite often, and you want to make it sound convincing and compelling. And like I said, you should be doing research during the holidays, and this should allow you to provide an in-depth understanding of this topic. So that's that. You can use this idea 1, idea 2, idea 3 to plan and have a go at this question. The second predicted question for writing a speech is to persuade young people to do more to tackle climate change. So essentially, you're providing solutions or your suggestions of what can be done to tackle climate change. And to be fair, this question is quite straightforward because how many times have you learnt about climate change in Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4? Whether that's in science, geography, you've probably had like school assemblies, whatever, about all of this. So this question, in all honesty, is straightforward. So not much for me to say there. And the last and final question, or the predicted question for GCSE English Language Paper 2, is to write a speech to persuade young people to spend more time exploring the great outdoors. Okay, so I feel like a lot of students will struggle with this one, but again, it requires a good plan. Okay, it requires a good plan, and essentially, if you have been following our videos, you would have watched how I've show students how to plan regardless of the question by the acronym MESS. Okay, so MESS. So if you follow this, you'll be able to tackle and plan your question with ease and have no stress or sort of panic in the real exam. So that is the final predicted question for the GCSE English Language Paper 2. So we are going to do further prediction videos on Paper 1 specifically in regards to the inserts. Now, there are certain common trends that we find within the insert in Source A for Section A, which I am going to tell you guys to start preparing for. And I can almost guarantee you it will come up in your insert, regardless of what it is. So if you would like to find out more, please subscribe because we are going to be uploading in the next few days as well. And that takes us towards the end of the video. Please subscribe, like, and share for more. Thank you.